Hello again. This is another MIDI controller project I've been working on. It's a little more off the shelf in nature and should be easier to put together if you're interested. It uses a Line 6 FBV3 foot controller coupled with a Raspberry Pi and an Arduino to really unlock the functionality of these foot controllers. You could also use this with a FBV Mark II shortboard if you'd like. For one reason or another, Line 6 really has not supported these units to anywhere near their capabilities, despite being on the market for a few years now. For instance, the FBV3, while having color-coded LEDs, is only capable of using these if it's paired with a Spider 5 or Firehawk series amplifier from Line 6. If it's used with any of their other products, you just get a red LED that turns on or off. Similarly, if you use these units with their USB port connected to a computer or other class compliant device, you again only get red LEDs. And the FBV control program that comes with it to set up the behavior of the units over USB doesn't allow for configuration of the LED colors, nor does it support MIDI in over USB to control things like the LED toggle state or the LCD display. That being said, these things go for about $250 new and even less used, and they have a built-in expression pedal. If you'd like to use this project with the FBV Mark II series, those are even less expensive and are pretty ubiquitous on sites like eBay. But basically in this configuration, I have a Raspberry Pi, which serves as the brains of the operation, and that runs a Python script that processes all of the sysx information being sent and received over the RJ45 jack at the back of the FBV here. Interfacing between the two, I have an Arduino Mega housed in this enclosure here. I went with the Mega because it has multiple serial ports and could route all of the ins and outs over USB to the Raspberry Pi. So for instance, on serial port 1, I have the connection to the FBV3 here, and because we're using the RJ45 jack as opposed to USB, I have to power the unit with a separate 9-volt adapter here. On serial port 2, I have MIDI in and out jacks going to the Arduino. That should be enough for most users. However, because I'm still using a Pod HD Pro, which does not support tuner information over MIDI, I have an additional RJ45 jack in the back connected to the foot switch out of the HD Pro for the sole purpose of passing tuner information to the unit here. Line 6, if you happen to be listening, a simple firmware update that would allow for sysx messages to be sent and received over USB in addition to the RJ45 jack would completely obviate the need to build a separate interface and would really open up the potential of these units. It would be a pretty straightforward update to issue as well, but I'm not sure that'll happen anytime soon. So I have this set up similar to other MIDI controllers with a paging style of interface. I have 8 pages of buttons here. You can have as many or as little pages as you'd like. Each page consists of these 9 buttons here, which can be assigned to one of 8 different colors as shown here, and can be off, dim, or bright. Most of the buttons that I have set up are of an instant access type, whereby pressing on them turns on or off an effect by sending a corresponding MIDI CC message, though you can also have the button set up as a preset style where they can turn on or off multiple effects at once. So for instance, on this page here, I have a clean channel, a crunch channel, and a lead channel that function as radio buttons essentially, and can turn on or off a variety of effects as needed. The expression pedals are fully supported and can be linked to any effect. So for instance, turning on this one engages expression pedal number 1, whereas this effect engages both 1 and 2, and they can be assigned to send CC messages to anything really. Just a quick note, while the FBV Mark II series has a red LED associated with every button, the same is not the case with the FBV3. There are no LEDs behind the up and down switches here. I don't know why. I opened the unit up and checked. There's nothing behind them. That probably saved like 60 cents in manufacturing the unit, but it is what it is. The function button can be made any color, but it can only be bright or off. I haven't implemented this yet, but that could be a pretty powerful feature to add on to this. And then the tap tempo button can only be bright red or off. But other than that, these 9 buttons are completely customizable. That's pretty much the gist of the unit. I put this thing together with an additional $40 to $50 worth of parts, which was the Raspberry Pi and the Mega and this enclosure. You can probably even bring that down if you were to use like a Raspberry Pi Zero or something. But I'll list the parts that I used below in a link. Again, if Line 6 were to update the firmware to allow the same sysx messages that are passed over the RJ45 to be passed over USB, that should eliminate the need to build anything like this. But yeah, I'll put the links below for the parts, the schematic, the code, and the sysx protocol. And if you have any questions or suggestions or would like to contribute to the code or anything, just hit me up. Thanks for checking this out. Peace.